Spectrum, leave a space, type in your contribution and name, then send it to 7197. Your views, our interviews on Spectrum, Radio 1 FM 90.
Hello, a very warm welcome. This is Spectrum on Radio 1 and your host, Edmond. On Spectrum tonight, government ventures into market development. What is the stake of the local trader in this project? Could this be the hope for the vendors recently evicted from the streets? The recent eviction of street vendors from all the major streets of Kampala has left many accusing the central government and the Kampala Capital City Authority technical arm of not taking into account the current tough economic situation. Now, in response to this accusation, government has embarked on a project that seeks to develop markets to make them modern and even more spacious. Today, State Minister for Economic Monitoring, Henry Banyangati, carried out an on-the-spot assessment of selected markets, established the conditions therein, and if at all there is space to accept market traders. This has come at a time when the Lord Mayor of Kampala, Arias Lukwago, and KCCA Executive Director Jennifer Misi approaching conflicting figures about the availability of space, with Lukwago saying there are no more stores. The government market development project has already begun causing fear among traders who are now wondering what will happen to them, with many saying that they will be sidelined and or for start of business. In the past, rich and powerful individuals have attempted to grab several markets in Kampala, but were frustrated by the traders who teamed with local leaders to oppose them. At the peak of these rumbles, President Museveni issued a directive with which he indicated that local traders should be given priority to develop and manage their own market. So tonight we ask, what should we expect from the latest attempt by government to develop markets? Also, what are the safeguards for the bona fide occupants given past attempts to victims? Our guests tonight, Honorable Henry Banyangati, State Minister for Economic Monitoring in the President's Office. You're most welcome, Honorable Banyangati. Thank you. We also have Mr. Everest Kayondo, Chairman of the Kampala City Trade Association. You're most welcome, Mr. Kayondo.
Thank you very much.
We're also joined by Mrs. Alice Mwang, the resident city commissioner. You're most welcome, Mrs. Mwang.
Thank you.
Honorable Banyangati, today you carried out an on-the-spot assessment of selected markets in Kampala. Can you tell us what you found on the ground?
Oh, this is impressionant, and what I found out in this market of Kampala, actually, it was like so much impressed. And it made me very proud as a Ghanaian in the plans that the Nakasero vendors have on the ground so far. I was again very proud of the vendors in the Wino market, because they are kind of thinking now, they are thinking sort of members. Nakasero have come up, Nakasero vendors have come up in the market was, the market was $40 million. The Wino market vendors have come up with the market in plan worth $200 million. And then I've gone to the other markets. Then what I've also discovered is that, like, for example, Nakasero market, they are processing their title. They want to have their title in their own name. So we know they are doing the same. So we know they say it's about 8 or 9 acres. Nakasero, they are in the range of 1.5 or 5 acres there. Then when I go to Katwe is the market, it's owned by the Kabaka. Then when I go to Nakawa, Wabigaro, they are processing their own land title. This is the impression of Ugandans owning their own assets. When I go to Nakawa, same story, there are some wangles they have within their market, but they are progressing, they solve them, but the market in the hands of the Kampala City Authority. And the vendors are more or less in charge of their own investment for the market. And in Kitare, I found that they also have, that is, they are on somebody's land, but they are in negotiations so that the government buys that land to be owned. So, and I'm yet to go in these other markets, and which I could, but I wanted to reach 10 markets today. I really have to see. But what I have found is so amazing and so encouraging. Number two, the issue of saying that they are going to go to this kind of market is a reality.
Already?
Yes. If anybody doubts they kind of turn their hand to reduce what needs to be Shauriako market. Because you know Shauriako market, that's where they used it to be a place for collection of all sewage or the floods we are going to Shauriako. That's why they call it Shauriako. Because you do not be sure of your investment. Whether it is flooded, Shauriako. Whether you are storing there, Shauriako. So it was doomed to be concerned. But when you go to the former Shauriako now, where people use it used to be a place where people were, all sorts of people, where you would eat while the food is being cooked in a civil there. Now in Shauriako, there are some Ugandans who don't know people are living in Kampala. It is one of the buildings where vehicles park on the top, 4 or 5. Vehicles don't park underground. They drive 4 or 5 park there. And that market has been developed by the vendors themselves. So what are we saying here in these other markets like Seka, Yada, and Seka, by the way, I didn't go there, but I'm going to go there one of these days. What are we talking about? Market like Nakasero, market like Owino? All they need is government to guarantee their loan facility. We get a loan from my financial organization like World Bank or African Development Bank. The moment we guarantee them, it will be the government more or less borrowing, and then they will develop their own market using that kind of money. That money from World Bank is always structured in such a way you have 10 years of grace period without paying any money. Then when you start paying, the interest you are paying, the concession of the World Bank, and especially this such a loan which will be coming to serve the people who are underprivileged, its interest rate is 0.75% on an annual basis. That's the concessional loan. And it is paid for something like 40 years. So for that 40 years, the vendors in Nakasero, the vendors in Nakawa, the vendors in Owino, they would be able to own those markets. Ugandans will be empowered. They will be having, whoever has a store, he will be having a condominium title for that store. So this is the way to empower Ugandans. And this is not about this is about developing. It's not about this politicking of this kind of, I don't believe in that. But we want to develop the people of Uganda. We want to develop the people of Uganda, the government of NRM, incidentally now we talk of NRM because it is the ruling party which is governing all this. For this time I've been telling the people that they should put politics on the side and we talk about development. But as we talk about development, it is the NRM government which is spearheading this. So as far as I'm concerned now, I look at every Ugandan as the Ugandan who voted the NRM party to power. I cannot go there and stop FDC, the market of Nakasero for DP, all of them. This is for Ugandan, and my assumption is that they all voted the NRM power. So we don't segregate. So and the last day, maybe for this submission in this design now, the possibility of these people owning this market and building this market is a result. Secondly, there's one thing, of course we have some people who may not believe, who may say that doubting Thomas. One of the key priorities where we want to invest the money, the proceeds, the revenues from the oil within the next 3-4 years. One is infrastructure, development, schools, roads, railway, or etc. We look at this market as an economic infrastructure. So when we are looking at this market, soon we shall be having, even if we are not talking about this World Bank, we could be having our own money. If you see Turipati, I'm told this man called Turipati, the investor called Turipati, came here with nothing here, but is now one of the leading investors into real estate, and they have been building this mall. If you see what is happening in Nakuma, I know the developers of this where is it, the Nakuma? I know them. I know. Some of them I know them. I know they are part of them. But because of hard work, they have developed those places. If you see what was happening in these other malls that they are surrounding us, and the modern way now is build malls outside the city. People don't want crowd in the city. People want to build the malls outside the city. There is a mall being built in Kabaragana by Kukati. There is a mall being built in Kisasi. There is a mall being built in Tinda. There are malls in Namasuba. It's a mall. So the modern way to do these markets is to build them in a more model style. And everybody we are talking about, the so-called which we are calling the Batendeis of today, we are pushing them to these markets to own stores. From stores, they will graduate, own such a kind of mega buildings and malls. And I've been talking to the chairman of Kasita, and he was telling me he started his business in Masaka, in the market. Now he's the chairman of all traders in Masaka. And we have helped him clean the state, one of the problems that has been raising. So we are moving on the right track. So actually, my submission, that's my submission, and Kasita will agree with you that we are now moving in the right direction and there will be no strike anymore.
Alright, Honorable Banyazach, of course, this time I think we choose to believe you. I remember some time back the government pushed people out of Indian clinics, the Consider and God clinics. They did one thing, they went to the outskirts, they gave those places, now they're staying in the capital city. This I just choose to believe you, even though $200 million appears in a large amount of money. Mr. Kayendo, well, we'll just believe it tonight. Mr. Kayendo, what's the view of this project? I'll look at the travel drawings, they look very impressive.
Yeah, it looks very impressive, and I have been impressed. I've looked at the architectural plan. They are quite impressive. And if it becomes a reality, it will be very good. However, I wish to be a bit and develop yet another idea. One, while we are appreciating that kind of development, which is very good, where the owners are actually going to own those stores. I think even central government or local authorities should get a land where they can develop their own market. And these markets will be owned by local authorities. Because look at the 200 million or 40 million or whatever million. That's a lot of money, and once it is developed with ownership by these vendors, definitely these will be perpetual owners, and it will be inherited by their children. Yes, their offspring. But my humble submission is, if we get also land and we develop markets, there are some markets like in China. Those are very big buildings. It's not the type of marketing. No. But they build very big open space buildings such that you have a collection of vendors. They only install within those markets. They are saying they reduce because it should be acting as a nursery where somebody who has graduated, you can't contribute and be part of this 200 million or 100. Actually should get started somewhere. I was actually, what the minister was telling the public is correct. For me, when I was graduating in 1983, I managed to get book allowance in time. And by then it was at the salary. No, there was a book allowance, there was boom, there was transport allowance, and there was also teaching practice allowance for us who are doing education. So I went to Masaka SS, that is the school where I used to teach. And I opened up a store in the market using the 30,000 from government as book allowance. And I can assure you, I've never added on any other capital. 30,000 Uganda shillings, not dollars. And but this money pushed me through. Why? Because I was not paying rent, I was not paying anything. I was only paying 500 for market use every day of the So but it was owned by the local authority. So if an arrangement of that nature, where there is a local authority owning the market, and these fresh graduates or school dropouts can be called to the market, and if you acts as a nursery, we don't accept ownership. Yes, it's an incubation, and we don't accept ownership in this particular development markets. You don't own it. We don't sell it to you. Once you graduate, you move out from the market and to something better, to the shop, and then graduate. So that arrangement should also be in the mind of our planners in the government.
But talk to us about that. Does that sound feasible? Is it something that what I can see?
Yes. For example, at this time, there is a project that is going on under the Ministry of Local Government where the markets, 6 markets are going to be constructed. Actually, one day is about to start. There is one there, there is Nakulani, there is Kakuri, there is Kisega, and there is Kansanga, and there is another. There are 6 which are going to be constructed by government. And then the builders who are there are going to have their first priority when those markets are reconstructed to a modernized, like the Honorable Minister said, has been talking about. This time, government has decided to do it. So when we talk about developing markets, it is high on the agenda. It is even in the NRM manifesto.
You say that very passionately. And very solid cutter. Talk to us about the stage of development.
The stage of development, one area is the one which is going to start very soon, one area is starting, but the others will take a little bit of time because it requires, first of all, getting the land. Rusega, roundabout, that one is illegal. So government is supposed to construct behind that market so that they get off the road. So government is about to start that one as well because the land is already there, identified. Kasuri, we are going to identify the land. Nakulabye has got the land, but they are still working out the modalities. Kansanga, the same, we thought that it was Kabaka's land, then later on they said it belongs to the Uganda Land Commission. So now the process is on. So those markets will be built in about 4 years' time. We shall have because each market is going to be built in 2 years. Within 2 years.
You already have the money for it.
Yes, the money is already available.
Mr. Minister, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah. Well, the money is available and then but one thing I can tell you on the other hand, what the chairman Kapita was talking about, the city council or municipal council, because we are not only talking for Kampala, we are talking for municipal council and town council. That one, for sure, the government is doing this. Like, for example, the market I see in Nakawa, that was in the hands of the Kampala State Authority now. There are some markets which are under Kampala State Authority, but I can assure you, if you ask me genuinely, I would encourage these vendors to draw their own structural plans, to draw their architectural plans at their own cost. Because, like for example, you are talking about this 200 million shillings for a
It's a small amount.
It's not a small amount, but I can assure you it is something that can be secured. Because I have been in Parliament, I have seen the type of loans that we have been approving. Loans for teaching people how to live with latrines and toilets, and how children should be fed if they have been child.
Small amount.
But they are small, they are about $40, $20 million. And here we are talking about these guys in Nakasero down here, they need only $40 million. And when you are talking about Owino, who are asking $200 million, this $200 million with this market of there, the government itself will not commit itself to provide such a kind of market. But with public-private partnership, then we can have a public-private partnership. As the government, we have a state to provide some whatever we can provide. Then the private sector, who are the vendors themselves, they pool resources together. We can borrow this money, 200 million shillings to World Bank, $200 million to World Bank. It's nothing. It's not much. $200 million in Uganda. In Uganda of 2000-15-16. $200 million of Uganda of 2016 will be
nothing.
Uganda,
I don't, let me not use the word nothing
Very
I'm not misunderstood. 200 million shillings for the government of Uganda in 2016, 200
It'll be
million.
much smaller than it is now.
It will be an affordable amount because we shall remember.
We expect to have oil.
Yes. And we already there.
And we expect the money will be used to
We have already, and of course, we are there, you are
The
there,
resources.
we are all there to make sure that we do oversee this wealth, this gift, this gift that God has gifted us, this wealth. We are there to see. So if we do not draw, if we don't draw such a kind of plans and make plans that we foresee, if we don't foresee and bring this plan, at the end of the day, if we have an income of $2 million per day, if we have not drawn plans, that money will go to waste. But if by 2016 we have the money, our petrodollar, and there are plans like this Owino, they are plans for Nakasero vendors, and they are looking and say we need to be financed. Then we can engineer, we can do financing engineering and give them the money.
Right.
We are having this Chinese coming here, and if we are talking about infrastructure, why not give them the same and say you give us instead of giving us money, a loan in terms of money, build for us this market worth so much. This will be the kind of arrangement we are going to do. So everything will be possible. And as of now, we are going to begin with those who are already organized. We already begin, as I told you, of those who we are already doing. We are already these people of, like, for example, vendors in Nakasero, they are living in hope that they have never lived in before. Because previously, they knew that their market was going to be taken by some company, or something. It's commonly known as some swashbuckling. These vendors in second market. We are having problems with vendors in second market because they had lost hope in the government state because they thought that the government is not taking care of them. Now they are sure that they are going to develop that second market to much more standards than the William has been talking about. So people are now living with hope much more. They are living with hope more than ever before, despite of the challenges we are having in the economy, which I will talk about later. Because I know I cannot bring this home here without those issues of the economy to ask. But one thing I can assure you is we are at the take-off stage.
Well, I mean, obviously,
the country.
These plans look
If we
very
are not on the take-off stage, no Uganda would be thinking.
No, so the plans look good. I mean, you're talking about giving your market worth $200 million. That's
yes,
really
now you can see where the minds of the people are. They are now optimistic that they are going to be there.
Now,
And these plans
those are futuristic.
of these plans of Owino people,
Of course,
not they are now living in real hope. They know it's going to be this one first.
Right.
All they are asking, they are saying for us, is don't even want money, government money, guarantee us. That's all they are asking.
right. Interesting. Of course, the hope is that that oil money, $2 million per day, will be used to. It's not a lot of money if you look at it. Libya makes $140 million a day.
I have just
Our reserves are 20 years. Libya's reserves are 80 years. Well, this is Spectrum on Radio 1. It's not talk about oil tonight. Tonight, our topic is government venturing into market development. What is the state of the local trader in this project? Could this be the hope for the vendors recently evicted from the streets? We'll be back after this break.
Let's show you how to multiply your savings. Starting with the cash beneath the mattress to the savings in the bank that aren't making money. Let's turn your savings into something with Super Save Reloaded. Super Save Reloaded brings you savings and investment accounts which offer you a sure and predictable way to multiply your savings. For more information about Super Save Reloaded, ask at your nearest Stanbic Bank branch. Stanbic Bank.
Is no internet provider turning your world upside down? Broadband Company offers fast and reliable internet solutions. And for the first 100 subscribers this month, we offer zero connection fees. Save up to 400,000. For more information on these offers, call toll free 0800 222 111. Broadband Company, more than you expect.
So class, we learned today that there is Blue Band Original for spreading, cooking and baking, and the new Blue Band spread for bread, which is specially formulated for... good. Some people want a Blue Band Original for spreading, cooking and baking. Why not others want a new Blue Band spread for bread, specially formulated for... Spreading! That is even good. We now have Blue Band Original spreading, cooking and baking, and the new Blue Band spread for bread for... Spreading!
Blue Band now gives you a choice. Blue Band Original for spreading, cooking and baking, and new Blue Band spread for bread, which is specially formulated for spreading, making it more affordable.
Therefore, if you have the new Blue Band spread for bread and you spread it on the bread, that means you are doing what? Yes, spreading!
Daily Blue Band, daily growth.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90 is brought to you by Stanbic Bank.
Welcome back. On Spectrum tonight, government is venturing into market development. What is the stake of the local trader in this project? All vendors recently located from the States. Our guest tonight, Honorable Henry Banin, the State Minister of Economic Monitoring in the President's Office, Mr. Ivres Karindo, Chairman of the Kampala Association, and Mrs. Alice Mungo, Resident City Commissioner. We'll also be able to call in later and contribute to this. And I read out the telephone number to that time comes. Honorable Banin, with all this nice looking picture, just shown at how to do it. Why